trusting God is hard, and trusting people, even those who trust God, can be even harder. I want to talk about praying, and not your praying, but letting somebody else pray over you. I went to the front of our church not too long ago to get prayer, and it was interesting because usually I'm one of the people who's up at the front praying over other people. But I needed to call some of my fellow prayer warriors and people who work at the church to pray over me when I was waiting for the results of my MRI. And as they started, and these wonderful, amazing people that are like family to me, when they started praying for me, I was so tempted to open my mouth and start praying myself, because that's what I'm used to. I'm used to being the one that prays for other people. And we do that with God too, especially when things start to get really, really hard. We try to fix it. We try to open our mouths. We try to do things, to control and organize and do all of the steps, as opposed to just sitting back and being quiet and letting the Lord work. And it's the same thing when somebody else is praying over you. It is a very, very vulnerable thing. First, you have to tell them what it is you need prayer for. And secondly, you have to sit there, you have to be quiet, and you have to let them say things over you. My daughter got prayed over not too long ago, and she came to me in tears afterwards, and I'm like, what's the matter? And she's like, they just said everything that I needed them to say. It was a good release. But then later on that night we were talking about it, and she's like, it's very uncomfortable because, they know everything. And it's exposing to be prayed after, but that's good. That's how we need to be in our walk with the Lord as well. Be able to expose everything, let Him lead, let Him be the one that makes the next steps, not you, and you just sit there in silence. Here is a verse for you. Therefore, confess your sins to one another and pray for one another so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person is very powerful in its effect. Confess your sins to one another and pray for one another so that you may be healed. The prayers of a righteous person is very powerful in its effect. And that's James 5:16. It's the CSB version. Write this down. When was the last time you let somebody pray for you? Think about that. And I will tell you this, as somebody who is like a professional prayer, I don't think that's a thing, but I love to pray for people, and I do it all the time. It makes us feel good too. The person that you're allowing to pray for you, you're actually serving them. You know how I feel about serving. You're serving them by allowing them to pray over you. And some people have a gift of praying, and reach out to those people consistently and let them pray for you. So what I want you to do after you kind of think about when's the last time you had somebody pray over you is make yourself a list of people that you can go to who will pray it over you. I love that I have people who text me and say, hey, could you pray about this? Could you pray about this? Who are vulnerable and enough to give me their deepest, darkest, hardest things so I can pray about them. And I want you to make a list of people that you can tell those things to, and you can ask them to pray for you. Give them your story, text them, let them pray about it. So figure out who those people are, and then figure out what it is that you need to be prayed about, and tell them. Allow yourself to be prayed over, whether it's from far away, they're just doing it in their own time, or next time you're at church, walk up there and get prayer. Prayer works. That's the thing. You want what you're praying for. You want to be healed. You want to see relief from whatever it is. Let yourself be prayed over, especially this season.